Good morning and welcome to today's 20-minute pop-up yoga. Today's practice is going to be some of my favorite yoga poses to do when I am short on time. So as always, please listen to your body, take breaks, and do modifications however you need. This is your practice, so make sure you listen to you more than you listen to me. So we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. If you'd like to sit up on a pillow or a pillow or a cushion, even sit up on a chair, that would be just fine. So we're going to lift the lower belly gently, roll the shoulders up and let them fall down away from your ears. You can rest your hands gently on your knees and then pull the crown of your head up to the ceiling behind you. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. And we'll take a moment now to connect with our breathing. So begin to move your breath in and out through your nose if you're comfortable doing so. Try to bring symmetry to your inhales and your exhales. And see if you can make an ocean sound with your exhales. Feeling the breath at the back of your throat. And as we open our eyes, see if you can continue to keep the breath flowing in and out through your nose, continuing to make that ocean sound. And we'll move on to our hands and knees. As you move into your hands and knees, you could put a folded blanket underneath your knees if you would like. You want to have your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. And we'll do a few cat-cows with the breath. On an inhale, move the chest forward, drop your belly, lift your chin. And on an exhale, pull your belly toward your spine, letting your shoulders round and dropping your head. Inhaling to bring the chest forward, lifting the chin and dropping the belly. Exhaling to lift the belly toward the ceiling, rounding your shoulders and dropping your head. Go ahead and move through some cat-cows at a pace that feels good to you. And come back to neutral spine. We're going to go ahead and do thread the needle, and if thread the needle is uncomfortable for you, you can move into child's pose. So for thread the needle, you can move your left hand forward just a little bit. We're going to lift the right hand up and place it behind your left hand off to the left side of your mat, letting your right shoulder drop down to the mat, resting the right side of your face on your mat, and you can walk your left hand forward. We'll take a few slow breaths on this side and then we'll reverse and go the other way. Good. Walk your left hand back, placing it next to your face. Straighten it and bring your right hand back to tabletop. And now move your right hand forward just a couple of inches. Lift your left arm up and place it behind your right hand, crawling it over to the right, letting your left shoulder drop, the left side of your face rest on your mat, and walking your right fingers forward. Good. Walk your right fingers back, straighten that right arm, and come back to tabletop position. From here, we'll bring both hands about a foot or so forward, tuck your toes, and move into a downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back. You can keep your feet, your knees as bent as you would like here. Make sure that you're pressing all 10 of your fingers into the mat, especially your thumb and pointer finger, as those can tend to get light in this position. And let's gently pedal the feet, straightening one leg at a time. Doing a gentle stretch on our calves. Good. Go ahead and bend both legs, press through both hands. Go ahead and come up onto the balls of your feet nice and high, and see if you can move your legs toward straight up on the tops of your toes. And if you need to keep your legs bent, that's completely fine. Go ahead and engage your thighs, pulling them up towards your hips, and then you can work your heels toward the mat. Again, you're welcome to bend your knees here. Good. And we'll go ahead and shift the weight forward into plank. If you're pregnant or if you'd like a modification, you can drop to your knees. I like sometimes to do a little bit of a wave on this one, and I'll show you how I do that, but you're welcome to just do the regular plank. So if you want to do the wave version, you come up on the balls of your feet and kind of let a little wave round your back, move through your body to come into plank. And you can drop your knees if you'd like. And then you reverse it, lifting first that upper back, rounding it, coming up high on the balls of your feet, and then pressing your heels back down. So go ahead and move through a few plank downward dog flows in whatever manner is comfortable for you. And after you find a rhythm, we can link the breath, inhaling to plank and exhaling to downward dog. And let's do 2 more. And then hold dog just for 1 breath. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the right foot forward and place it between your hands. Go ahead and circle that left foot, turning it out. Left toe is facing forward. Right heel intersects the left arch. And on an inhale, press through your feet and circle into Warrior 2. In Warrior 2, pull your fingers away from each other. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Make sure your knee isn't going past your ankle. And you can look over your right fingertips. Hug the right hip under. Engage the left thigh. Make sure the right knee isn't collapsing in, but is pressing over the same direction as your toes. And take 2 more breaths here. Press equally through both feet as much as you can. Good. Go ahead and straighten the foot. We're going to shorten the stance just a little bit and come into a quick triangle pose. So with the left toe still pointing forward, right toes facing the short side of your mat. Arms straight out, keeping the right leg straight this time. Hinging at the hips, pull to the right as far as you can. And when you can't pull any forward, any farther without collapsing, let your right hand drop to the inside of your leg. And you can lift your left arm up or place it on your hip. And we'll just hold this for 3 breaths. Twist your chest as much as you can toward the ceiling. Engage that right thigh and keep that left hip hugging under. 1 more breath, and then we'll circle back into Warrior 2. Circle the arms back so they're on either side of your right foot, and step back again into downward facing dog. Take a breath here, And then we'll step the left foot forward to reverse it. So put your left foot between your hands, press down through both feet, drop that right heel, and circle the arms into warrior two on the left side. So now the right toes are facing the long side of your mat and the left toes facing the short side of the mat. Pull your fingers away from each other. Keep the left hip hugging under the left knee in line with your toes and not collapsing in. Right thigh engaged, left knee not going past your left ankle. Lift the lower belly, tilting your tailbone down toward the ground. Let's do 2 more breaths here in warrior two. Good. And go ahead and straighten the left leg. You can put your hands on your hips for a moment. Shorten your stance just a little bit, but keep those right toes facing forward, left toes facing the side. And now with the arms straight out, we'll hinge at the left hip, leaning as far to the left as we can, keeping that length through the left side. And when you can't lean any farther forward, drop your left hand to the inside of your leg. You can raise your right arm or put it on your hip and twist your chest toward the ceiling. Engage your left thigh and tuck your right hip under, and we'll do 3 breaths here. Good. Then the left leg, back into warrior two, and then circle the arms back on either side of your left foot, step back into downward facing dog. And then go ahead and walk your feet and your hands together. Your legs can be wide or closer together. Your hands can be resting on your legs or on the ground. Try to bring your weight forward so that your toes are slightly heavier than your heels. You want your hips directly over your ankles and not pulling back behind you. That helps keep the stretch in your hamstrings. You can also engage your thighs, pulling them up towards your hips, which allows your hamstrings to release. Take a few deep breaths here, and with each exhale, see if you can release a little bit deeper into the stretch. You're always welcome to bend your legs in forward folds, so please do that as much as you need to. Again, you're welcome to keep your feet closer together or bring them as wide apart as you like. You're also welcome to put your hands on a chair or a block if that helps. When we do one last breath here, let's go ahead and shake the head yes and no, releasing tension in the neck. Good. And go ahead and bend your legs, bring your hands to your hips, and come up to stand. Very good. Now that we're standing, we'll sit back down. So we're going to come down onto the ground in whatever way is easiest for you. And we'll move into a bound angle pose. So with both sitting bones flat on the ground, bring the soles of your feet together, lift the crown of the head up. You can put your hands behind you to help create that length, or you could hold on to your ankles. And if this is a deep enough stretch for you, you can stay right here, or if you'd like, you can gently fold forward. It's a good time to reconnect with your breath. And slow, deep inhales and exhales. Again, trying to have that symmetry to the breath to help center us. Equal inhales and exhales as much as possible. Good. Come back up and go ahead and adjust your feet. You can either bring them farther away from you or bring them in closer to your sitting bones. Create that nice length on an inhale, and on an exhale you can either remain right here or allow yourself to fold forward. Good. And come back up, and we'll go ahead and lay on our back with our knees bent. We'll do reclined pigeon pose. You can cross your right leg over your left knee, and you can either stay right here or you can interlace behind your left leg and pull your left knee in toward your chest. And go ahead and keep those feet flexed as that helps protect your knee joints. Try to keep your lower back pressed down into the mat. And take a few deep breaths. Good. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. Left leg crossing over right knee. And again, you can keep it right here, or you can interlace behind your right leg and pull your right knee in towards your chest. Again, just try to keep your lower back glued to the mat and keep your feet flexed. Good. And release. And if you're pregnant, you can go ahead and go into a happy baby pose, hugging your knees into your chest or grabbing the side of your feet. Otherwise, we'll do a gentle twist, letting your knees fall to the right, keeping your left shoulder pressed down into the mat. And you can gently look over your left shoulder if that feels all right. You're always welcome to put a pillow or a block underneath your knees. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Good. Bring your knees back to center and let them gently fall to the left, pressing the right shoulder into the mat. And if you'd like, you can gently look over the right shoulder. Good. And bringing your knees back to neutral, you can let them fall on the mat. You can extend your legs straight or bring your knees together. If you're pregnant, I invite you to roll onto your left side. You can let your palms come up toward the ceiling and bring your shoulder blades together underneath you. And if it feels comfortable, you can go ahead and close your eyes. We'll stay here for just about a minute or so. See if you can lengthen your inhales and exhales. And with each exhale, see if there's some place in your body where you might be able to release some tension.
Alexa, stop.
Softening anywhere that you can on each exhale. Letting the ground beneath you support you and letting your body feel heavy and relaxed. And if you've got the time today, I invite you to stay here for 5 or 10 minutes. And if you're ready to come out of the pose, you can gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Open your eyes. You can roll onto your side and come into a seated position. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to practicing again with you next time.